The unbranded exhibition was a culmination of our year module of critical context, where the students involved all put on a stand which dealt with their own interpretations of consumerism, counterculture and social hacking. We focused on the idea of branding and unbranding simply because it enabled us to look at consumer culture in a way as both consumers and critical people looking at the way we live our lives currently. The aim of the exhibition was to raise awareness and also perhaps poke a critical eye at consumer culture. And the way we did this, we split up into two halves. There was the branded side of the event and the unbranded side. The idea of the branded side was we looked at the direct correlation we have with brands. For example, there was one stand looking at brand power, what each brand meant to you as a person. You could give it a negative or positive score. There was an unbranding station where those of you wearing brands could have those covered up, and by doing so devaluing the brand, and over the course of the day of the exhibition we could see the price of brands going up and down. Other installations, for example, there was video installations, there was interactive installations. Recession Hero, for example, showed you bailing out banks and financial institutions in the same way as the Guitar Hero interface, just poking fun at the seeming wanton dispersal of cash, almost like a game. There was video installations which helped you to become oriented with the current Western consumerist world. My particular stand showed you a sort of pastiche setup of consumer advice. Yeah, also amongst the stands was the Corpimon, which was a sort of a representation of the vitality of the company, showing you as a mock head of a company that you could have this on your desk, and as the heartbeat got faster, you could bail out of your company. All these poking fun at the sort of the inhumanity of certain corporations and sort of consumerism. The other half, the unbranded side, was much more about social hacking and about sort of alternatives to consumerist culture. For example, we had an open cola stand where you could make the recipe for your own cola. Vast fraction of the price of what branded cola would cost you. There was free beer, which is always good. There was a stand showing you how to block RFID signals so you could protect your identity from RFID readers. Also amongst the stands on this side was the TV Be Gone, which is the means of you being able to turn off a TV in any radius around you, which was helpful if you're in Dixon's or Currys, to basically stop the incessant attack of adverts. There was a free trade boutique, which is a means of becoming even more fair than fair trade, whereas people almost shop by barter as a means to escape just purely buying things and then discarding them, which is the consumerist ideal. And we also had an ad busting station where people could go up there and get involved in actually ad busting large billboards in a way that was obviously not illegal because you were doing it within a sort of regulated space, but also gave the idea of that's what ad busting's about. So essentially these two halves made the whole of the unbranded exhibition, and we hoped to convey the message that this is the world that we live in, and it's always good now and again to take back and take stock.